Hello, today is August 26, 2020. Please make sure you take the attendance. Our goal today is students will place real numbers from least to greatest. Students will convert decimals to fractions. Students will convert fractions to decimals. Students will estimate irrational numbers to the nearest whole number. So this video will be placed right here. Today is joke of the day is I know the kids don't like you and pick on you, but you have to go to school. You're the teacher. If you're not willing to learn, no one can help you. If you're determined to learn, no one can stop you. This really is an indication of this class. About half the class you can tell watches the videos, and about half the class does not. So half of you are willing to learn by watching the videos. The other half of you are not. I can tell you right now, the first half is passing this class. The second half is not. Right here's today's assignment. We're going to take a brief look at today's video lesson. Well, today we're going to take a look at several different types of review problems to prepare for your quiz for Friday. So the first thing we're going to look at is a problem like this where it says 2 plus the square root of 15. We want to estimate this to the nearest whole number. So to do that, we have to convert this. We have to estimate that as a whole number. So here's what I know. I know that the two closest perfect squares are 9 and 16. And since it's closer to 16, I'm going to estimate this as 4. And the reason it's estimated as 4 is 4 times 4 is 16. So then I've got 2 plus 4, which is 6. And that would be my answer. The next type of problem that I'm going to look at is placing the following numbers in order from least to greatest. The first step is always to take each one of these numbers, negative 9 halves, square root of 18, negative 3.8, 0, 10 over 7, and pi, and use Desmos scientific calculator to convert them to decimals. And so we have 4.5, but don't forget it's negative, and you can't enter a negative into the calculator, so you're going to do that. But I've already went ahead and done that so that we didn't have to spend a lot of time. So these are all converted to decimals. And so then we got to find, it says from least to greatest, so the smallest. When we look at negatives, the bigger the number, the smaller it is. So this is first, this would be second, and then 0 would be third, and then 1.4 would be fourth, and then pi would be fifth, and square root of 18 would be sixth. When you go back through, you're going to write them in order, but in the original version. So it'll be negative 9 halves, and then it would be negative 3.8, then it would be 0, then it would be 10 over 7, then it would be pi, and then it would be square root of 18. All right, the next type of problem that we're going to look at is how to write a decimal or write a fraction as a decimal. You're going to go to your calculator, and you're going to take the top number and divide it by the bottom number. It's going to tell you 0.625, so you go back to your paper or your Canvas question, and you pick 6.25, 0.625, or you type it in. The next type of problem that you're going to do is how do you know if a number is rational or not? Well, the definition of a rational number is I can write it as a fraction. So you look at the number and think, can I write it as a fraction? If you go to Desmos and you type in the number 0.6, you'll see that it has a fraction there. It's 3/5. And so I can write this as 3/5. And so because I can write it as a fraction, it is a rational number. So the reason I can write it as a fraction is, or it's rational, is because I can write it as a fraction. Because I can write it as a fraction. And then the next one says, write 0.3535 repeating as a fraction. So you're going to go back to the Desmos, and this time you're going to put 0.3535. Don't stop there. Keep entering because it goes on forever. You'll notice that it was there and then it went away and then it came back. And so 35 over 99 is what we're looking for. 35 over 99. All right, so we've gotten that written down. And so let's look what other type of problems what we got to do. How do I know if a number is rational or irrational, or decide if a number is rational or irrational? Anytime it has the number pi in it, it is always going to be irrational. So we know that for sure this is an irrational number. I cannot write pi as a fraction. Any number that doesn't end and doesn't repeat, you cannot write as a fraction. Looking at this one, this is a rational number. I can write -5 as a fraction, -5 over 1. I also know that it's a rational number because it ends. It's just -5, so there is no numbers after that. Now looking at number 20, or the square root of 20, it wants you to decide which point is the best estimate for the square root of 20. So here's what I do. I know that it's going to fall between the square root of 16 and the square root of 25. That's 4 and that's 5. That means that 20 has to be between 4 and 5. So there's 4, there's 5. The only one that's between 4 and 5 is C. Hopefully this helps you do a better job on your assignment today and prepare you for your quiz on Friday.